Oh shit, here we go again.
It's the Going Off podcast with rapcritic and Muse. RC, we are under attack.
Oh, is that so?
Weep for the internet reviewers because no one else will. My grandma dead, ain't no one praying for us. Our girl, Lizzo.
Oh yeah, what was that all about?
For the second time in about a year, an artist I like personally went on Twitter and just decided to vent about music reviewers. And I'm not really sure what caused it this time, because first, for background, if y'all remember, we didn't really talk about it, but Kalani went on Twitter and was talking about how if you don't grow up in the areas that these artists grow up in, you have no business talking about the music they make because you haven't shared their experiences.
And people thought she was talking about Anthony Fantano. I just want to say for the record, she apparently was not.
When people lash out at reviewers, it's usually because people aren't being too kind to their project. They're getting bad reviews or whatever. Cause I Love You by Lizzo currently has an 83 or an 84 on Metacritic, so that can't be the case. I don't even know if she was talking about her own record. She could have just been talking about music reviewers in general. She might have been reading someone else's review. Maybe she read that review of Greta Van Fleet, and she thought that was really unfair, and that they should have been a little nicer to him. Who knows? This has come up before, about the music reviewers, and if you don't make music yourself, that you shouldn't have any say. But you are an exception.
As someone who has the quote-unquote bona fides that you would say someone would have to be a critic, you know what I mean? Because, like, I actually studied music, I actually went to school for music, I got masters and da-da-da. Even I'm saying, you don't really need that. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, as long as you can relate, as long as you can use your words to relate properly how you feel the music hit you, what the fuck is the issue? At the end of the day, it's a case-by-case basis. You know what I'm saying? Like, just listen to what the reviewer's saying. If it sounds like bullshit, just don't listen. You know, like, what are you angry at these people for? I review female artists sometimes, right? And I think that there is probably a more qualified female, like, person out there to talk about some of the topics that, like today, like, we're talking about Lizzo today, and as much as I'm going to try to bring my perspective, like, as I was listening to some of this music, I was like, you know, I could see probably a female perspective could probably be a little bit more intricate than I could about this. But at the same time, like, I'm still going to offer, you know, what I have to say, because it could be good that I'm offering a perspective that might, like, you know, a nuance of the perspective that might be helpful. Or just being able to be like, hey, I am a person saying, you know, check out this artist if they're good. You know what I mean?
I could maybe listen to an album and be like, this reminded me of blank. And it might be a band or an artist that you have never heard of. You wouldn't have been able to make that connection because you didn't hear them, but you might have a different opinion and be like, actually, I had a similar thought, but I thought it sounded like this. The point of reviews, in the end of the day, is to inform a unsure potential buyer. This isn't really saying if it's a good thing or a bad thing with music listeners. Your average music listener. I think we're different because we kind of scope things out on our own, and we do a podcast that requires us to listen to albums on a weekly basis to review them. But your average person might not be willing to take the time to listen to an album on their own on a complete whim. For some people, it feels like a risk. You don't necessarily have to buy the album to listen to it. Usually you can just go on Spotify, you can take a sample or whatever, but some people, even that is asking too much. And there is when a reviewer is useful. But that being said, we're gonna carry on and review Cause I Love You by Lizzo, her third full-length album, long awaited.
And matter of fact, I have been listening to Lizzo and PivotGang. So when you brought them up to me, like, oh yeah, do you know they're dropping albums this week? I was like, oh, are they now? Because I've been, you know, on my Stationhead channel, you know, just in case y'all know out there, you know, this Sunday when this episode goes up, we're probably going to be doing, you know, a little bit of maybe a stream or two, or one or two of these albums. But the number one track on this goddamn album, I've been playing that shit nonstop on my fucking radio station, because this shit is so fucking powerful, and you don't hear the type of style she's doing where it's just like full and fucking, it swings, and it has so much personality. Like, goddamn.
Just last week, we were talking about how White America was like the perfect album opener. This is right the fuck up there. The title track, Cause I Love You, is incredibly powerful track. I don't even know what word would work better than powerful. It is just
explosive.
It's explosive. It is in your fucking face. But what's so good about it too is that it's such an interesting mix of styles, because the verses are kind of more like a almost rapped kind of talk singy, but the chorus is like, it's a total flick of a switch. It's
like 1960s soul, but brought into the new millennium. You know what it is? Amy Winehouse and Adele, you know, they're tight, they're dope. But I feel like this is the first time I'm really like, all right, can we let like someone fucking blast this shit out of the goddamn water? You know what I mean? And that's not a diss to Amy Winehouse. She's just a different type of style. But like, I feel like Adele is just like, I don't know. I feel like I'm never really fully able to get underneath like what she's doing. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. You know what I mean? I hear that song and it feels so much like she's pressing on her vocals. You know what I mean? But I hear a very healthy, full sound here.
When I was trying to put my finger on exactly what the style was with this track and Jerome, and I kind of got like Ray Charles throwback type style.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe
saying?
in like 50s. Yeah, like the gospel sort of like, you know, what I say, that type of shit. Like the less polished sort of stuff.
And sure, I haven't really gone out of my way to look for music like that, but I couldn't tell you the last time I heard music like this, at least in a mainstream pop rap lane. Lizzo does rap on this album. She does soul on this album, funk, rap on occasion.
It's like CeeLo. It's so like challenging to what hip hop is that I just throw up my hands and just go like, look, it's good. Fuck it.
I would say the album starts really strong. I would say the second half isn't as strong, going from Crybaby to Tempo.
No, I love Tempo. That's one of the ones I've been playing with fucking Missy Elliott fucking. And the flows they were doing on that shit, nah, I gotta disagree. I fucking love that joint.
I think it was interesting because at the very beginning she says, I was waiting for this one. And I was too. As soon as I saw Lizzo had a song with Missy Elliott, I was checking it out. It didn't capture the same kind of bad bitch energy that I think it was kind of going for. And after listening to a playlist of Big Frida tracks, this is what this reminds me of. It sounds more natural when Big Frida does it. On this one, it's like, the chorus is really strong. The lyrics on the verses, especially Missy's, and I know that I really shouldn't expect much from Missy's guest verses.
Missy has never been the super lyrical cat, right? But what I think is fun about her is the onomatopoeias. That's her style, right? And if you listen to the verse, what's she doing all over it? She's doing that fun fucking, like, I love the way she fucking twisted the rhyme with that shit. I thought that was fun. Okay, see, I think that's what it is. If you don't enjoy what's happening right there, you're just not in for a good time for that song.
You know what I thought was weird? Because there weren't many guest verses, but both Missy Elliott and Gucci Mane do that. The exact same thing, because Gucci Mane later, like, oh, it's so cold on my neck. It's like, brr. So, I'm wearing my furs. And it's like, what are the odds that they would both do the exact same type of play on sound and almost the same rhymes in their guest verses?
I disagree with you on that song, but the very next couple of songs, Better in Color, Heaven Help Me, and Exactly How I Feel. Yeah, the one with Gucci Mane. Everything else up to that point, I enjoyed the shit out of. It was like power ballad, but hip hop, but, you know, fusion, funk, fucking Crybaby. That fucking, that beat hit so goddamn hard, and her voice with it. It was on some Prince shit, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay, where's that Janelle Monáe collab? We gotta make this happen.
We didn't talk about Coachella last week. When Janelle Monáe performed You Got the Juice, there's a portion of the song where she breaks it down. She usually brings up two people from the audience to kind of dance. She fucking brought out Lizzo and is like, Lizzo got enough juice to power this whole festival or whatever. And they had a little dance off.
If they would have performed both of their Juice songs, Coachella would have fucking exploded.
Oh my god. Yeah, this seems like a missed opportunity.
I thought you were gonna say that. I was like, oh shit.
Then you saw when Lizzo had her set, Janelle Monáe was in the front row just like singing along to all the songs, dancing.
Oh, that's the sweetest thing, man.
They're big fans of each other. It's in the works. It has to be.
Oh my god, that's awesome. That is awesome to know. That is...
But yeah, that's exactly how I feel is, in my opinion, the weakest song on the album.
Yes, it felt like the most Ellen DeGeneres show ready. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is the fun little, inoffensive joint. And it's just like, all right. It felt so like mainstream play. And then of course you get like Gucci Mane, who doesn't even sound like y'all had a conversation on, before you recorded this.
Get him the fuck out of here. What the hell was he even doing?
Like, he doesn't even fit. Like I said, like this sounds like the fucking fun, happy, you're going to be doing the dance that someone inevitably comes up to with the viral hit for, like someone's going to do some viral dance and it's going to be to this song and she's going to be on the Ellen DeGeneres show. You know what I mean? This is that type of song. And then it's like Gucci Mane is just like, what are you doing? This is supposed to be the clean G-rated song. What are you doing here?
Calling it like Ellen DeGeneres ready feels like so much more of an insult than I think you meant it. Like,
oh no,
that cuts
I
deep
mean
as hell.
I mean, because it's so fucking friendly, happy. And the thing about it is, the other song, Better in Color, it's one of those songs that like, I like what you do. Okay, with Like a Girl, that was a song that was like, I know why she's doing this, right? I know why she's saying like a girl with a fucking big ass powerful like a girl. I love that shit when that scream happens.
Find me up in Magic City, busting hundreds by the bands, and I throw it like a girl. The play on the phrase "throw like a girl." She's throwing the hundred.
Exactly what I meant.
Like a Girl is such an awesome fucking song, and I gotta say, as far as the musicality on this album, I don't think there's a song that misses a beat. Like even on. That's exactly how I feel, and Better in Color. The beats and the instrumentation is so fucking dope.
It's definitely crisp. Well, this is the lyric I was thinking about. So it says, so if you fight like a girl, cry like a girl, do your thing like a girl, run the damn world. If you feel like a girl, then you're real like a girl. Knowing a lot more about, trans issues than before. I was just like hearing that lyric, like catching that, you know what I mean? The sort of dog whistle of like, oh man, that's the sweetest thing. Like, yo, the fucking solidarity, you know what I mean? On the other hand, we have Better in Color. It's fun, it's like ooh, you can be my lover because love looks better in color. And it's just like, it's just slightly too cheesy. It's slightly too, Benetton ad to work. You know what I mean? It's just like, all right, I know, but...
Those two tracks, actually those three tracks, Tempo, That's Exactly How I Feel, and Better in Color, those do have my lowest ratings, and it doesn't help that they're back to back to back. But Better in Color, too. I really like the background singer is just chanting like, tell him, at the end of all the lines. There's little bits in all the songs, like... The energy on this album overall is undeniable. Even if the lyrics aren't very good, even if, it doesn't hit as hard, the energy doesn't fucking let up.
Yeah, I don't want us to forget about Soulmate. Definitely a highlight of the album, basically about, you are your own soulmate. What did she say? True love ain't something you can buy yourself. True love finally happens when you're by yourself. So if you're by yourself, then go and buy yourself another round from the bottle on the higher shelf. I like that. I like how it starts off like the rhyming with itself and then that really clever end rhyme. You know what I mean?
We didn't mention Jerome.
Oh, that shit was powerful. Dude, powerful is like the only way I can describe.
It's almost a callback to 'Cause I Love You in the style, that fucking throwback. And I just love the very beginning of it. Look, listen, shut up. I thought that was so funny.
Was one track, I think it was like one of the first ones. I think it's the second track where right at the end, she keeps singing like she thought the track was going to continue. And she was like, oh shit, my bad. It was just like the
fuck shit, thing. I thought it was going to keep going. Yeah. Like a Girl is such a great song and the chorus rules, but the last chorus is when she's like doing little ad-libs and she's yelling over it, and you could tell she's fucking feeling it. So by the end of it, when the song cuts off and she's still going, like, I can't even blame you. I'm right there with you. But dude, fucking Juice. Oh. Like, that's honestly, personally, contender for Song of the Year. Like, overall, I love the shit out of Juice. And, like, I'm seeing she's on all these late-night talk shows and whatever. Maybe not Ellen, but she's on all these different shows. And she's only performing Juice. And I'm like, man, maybe she should be performing new songs from the album. But, god damn it, Juice is, like, it's so fucking good
you can't beat those opening lyrics. Like...
It's so, like, the fucking throwback disco feel of it, and it's just so fucking dope. I don't even know what else to even say about it. It's so good. It came out at the wrong time of the year, honestly. Like, it came out at the end of winter. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, this needs to be a summer jam. This totally should have been, song of the summer. Holy shit, yeah, you're right.
I'm hoping it fucking carries over, because it definitely has summer jam energy.
We gotta give this song a second wind.
Mm-hmm.
My final rating for this one is a solid 5 out of 5. I enjoyed the shit out of it. Even the songs closer to the end that weren't as good. It was one of those albums where it was just like, you know, like as you're rating it, and every song you're giving is just a high rating, you're just like, oh, it's gonna be one of those albums, all right. And then when you start seeing the lower ones near the middle, you're like, oh, no. But, you know, the last couple kind of make up for it, so you're like, all right, cool. So, yeah, this is definitely a solid listen for me.
I came out with an average of a 4, with the strongest tracks, I thought, being Juice, Soulmate, and we didn't really talk about it, but Lingerie, the last track.
Lingerie. When she does oh my God. When she says, let's open the window and let the world know, and then oh my God. I was like, that was a little too sexy. That needs to be censored.
And I was reading up on it too, where she was like, I don't really write sexy songs, but it's like, man, you could have fooled me.
That's what I was fucking thinking. Yeah, when you looked at it, it was like, oh, this is just a nerdy song. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I need to take 5.
The fucking beginning of the song where the funk just hits you and you hear that voice in the background just go, yeah! Like, someone's feeling it. Someone is fucking... Someone knows that you aren't ready for this shit. It's simple,
Exactly.
But it's super fucking sexy, and the instrumental rules, and, like, she doesn't really do too much actual, like, singing, but she really lets it out on this one. I saw on Genius, she says that it was challenging and that this was her love on top Beyonce moment.
I see it. I
don't know if she hit the high notes like that, but I totally see it.
She didn't do the key change, but you know,
not like that.
remember when you first heard that song, and you just heard the and you're like, oh, it's gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep going till we get to heaven. All right.
You asked me when we were talking about what else we could talk about. We were talking about the Childish Gambino music video that premiered at Coachella. I didn't see it yet, but the Homecoming Beyonce Coachella documentary, I saw her set last year. I haven't seen the making of, but whoo boy, even being able to perform Love on Top like that at the end of your show, you've been performing for almost 2 hours.
Oh my God, I didn't even think. And see, that's what it also is, right? Just like the technical proficiency that you don't even fucking see, you know? Like, you know, you're thinking like, oh man, it doesn't seem like anything important is happening as you're watching the show, but just like the fact that she's still able to perform that song is the fucking feat.
Yeah, that was like the fucking closer, and it's like, no goddamn way. But seeing the soundtrack to that album on Spotify and having the songs from Lemonade be on Spotify, but actually not the album Lemonade, I was like, all right, it's only a fucking matter of time. And then what happens? I fucking wake up this morning.
Is a fucking genius.
Spotify's like, hey, everybody, finally, I know everybody's been waiting, and I know everyone has already heard the album by now, but great news, everyone. We finally got the album on. We know. Fuck off, Spotify. It took you, what, 3 years?
And you know it's because they didn't want to break off that fucking bread.
No, they had no choice now.
It's not like, oh, you know, the Spotify machine is not ready yet for the incredible awesomeness of Beyonce's. Although, wouldn't that be dope if Beyonce did a fucking MC Hammer in the early 90s, fucking Too Legit to Quit, you know, long form music video where it's just like, why is it Lemonade on Spotify? It's like, we just can't handle the power, Your Majesty. You know, they have this whole mythological fucking thing of why it's not on there. But, like, the only fucking reason why is, like, probably just a fucking money issue. You know what I mean?
But with that said, we're going to transition over to our second new album review.
Brand spanking new.
2019 is not messing around.
Yeah, let me get my belt, because it's brand spanking new, bitch.
Oh, I thought you said you had to tighten that shit. But no, you got to take it off. Taking that belt all the way off. we got You Can't Sit With Us, the newest album from the hip-hop collective PivotGang. Darren.
Dude, talk about, like, I had no idea. Like, I didn't know who they were, but I knew everyone in the group, and it was really weird to just be like, wait, oh, you too? Oh, you too?
My experience with them was I follow Joseph Chilliams on Twitter, because after, I think it might have been an album that came out last year, it was so much fun and, like, reference heavy, which is always a fucking cheat code for me. And I thought that album was great. So when I saw that he had an album coming out with fucking Saba on it, I was like,
right?
What the fuck?
Dope ass, light jazz, experimental fucking. It's got all the little tinges and kicks of clipping, but less experimental, so like I can enjoy the songs a lot more directly because they're more going for the lo-fi, chill ass jazz vibe, you know what I mean? That's what I dig, especially when they have little crisp, little like popping things going on in the production right in Death Row, especially with how the snaps kind of like they're on beat the first time and then they're off beat, but in that sort of like working on the offbeat sort of ways that's just like so cool to hear the rappers rap against. It's just the production is so fucking, the production is a star here. It absolutely is.
Now here I'm gonna be the party pooper for just a second and say that I wasn't as impressed with the album as I thought it was going to be. I was a little let down. It reminded me a little bit of the experience we had with Czarface meets Ghostface, where on paper this looks like it's going to be fucking stellar, 5 out of 5, and then you listen to it and it's like, man, I mean, yeah, Esoteric's fucking blowing the fucking doors off the joint, but, fucking Ghostface kind of calling it in, Inspector Deck not bringing it like he normally does. Like, I really liked just about everyone on this album, but as far as, like, stars, Joseph Chilliams kind of still steps out ahead of most everyone else lyrics-wise.
That's what I was going to say. Okay, so, and it's not that, there are certain people that are super nice, I feel like, that don't get that much shine, I noticed.
Yeah, that's a problem too.
There was one guy's name, and I was just like, what fucking name is this? This guy looks like he's going to be a joke. And then he's like one of the fucking dopest on the album, and I was like, oh, well, shut my mouth and call me dumb.
I had the exact same experience. Fucking Benjamin Earl Turner.
Yes.
He had the last verse on the last song, and I was like, where the fuck has he been? Like, he's not an official member of the group, I don't think. I think he's like a guest verse. Like,
fucking
what the hell
Master
is this?
Killer verse over here.
You had a couple songs, Carnival, I think, being the main one, where it's a giant fucking posse cut.
Yeah.
And everyone has really short verses, and it's like, what the fuck, dude? Come on.
The ones that I didn't like in general were the Edward Scissorhands and the Mathematics.
Oh no,
because it was just like, it's called Mathematics, and then like they start off mentioning mathematics, and then everything else has nothing to do with, it's just kind of like, yeah, mathematics. So anyway, my dog tripped over me, and last night it was just like, what? Like, I just don't understand what they were going for, so it just kind of felt like, this whole album has a general feel to it, right? So with every song, you have to be doing something that's sticking out. And with this song, it just felt like it was kind of meandering. So it was just kind of like, all right, well, this song just feels kind of a song lost in the weeds to me. You know what I mean?
I do agree that it's not the strongest cut, but fucking Edward Scissorhands. That song is dope.
I hated the chorus. It's a great chorus
from Joseph Chilliams.
You
don't like the chorus?
Weird. No.
I like the chorus. It's fun.
Especially when it comes after Jean Doe at the end. She's got this unique flow that sounds like real kind of like chill, like you haven't heard it before, like Diggable Planets.
Oh,
you know
shit,
what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like that real chill ass sort of flow. Write a death wish, got the leg bringing deals, ain't no selfish hoe. Niggas drunken and went to their head. Then we called the nigga at the liquor store. I guess we'll never know what he said. And she ends like real chill, and then you just hear, you ain't gotta trim your bush, you ain't gotta Edward Scissorhands. And it's just like, yeah. It's like, is that what he said? Is that what he said?
That chorus reminded me a lot of Open Mike Eagle, and I think it might have been the delivery.
It felt like it didn't go anywhere. Like, it felt like this should have been like maybe a fun sex song, but then it just wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, with a line like that, you think they would be going there, and then they just don't. And it's like, oh, so why is that really provocative line there then?
I think my biggest problem with the album overall is that not everyone feels like they're on the same page. Like you were saying, you got this one person doing this really great verse, and then it has, like, nothing to do with the song overall. You usually only like maybe one or two of them, and the third one's like, I wasn't feeling, motherfucking mellow.
Let me see. I think I actually liked one of his verses later on.
That's the thing. I was like, yeah, he's good sometimes. Like on Clark Kent.
Yeah.
I thought he had a really good verse. Other times, like even Saba on some of the tracks, I was like, But then on Edward Scissorhands, I thought he had a good verse.
It was on what was the song especially? I Just Passed by Hero. Dude, that beat was fucking phenomenal. That flute. Dude, hip-hop and flutes, man, it needs to go together more, because, like, that made me like a Future song. Like, what?
I fucking forgot to even mention that on the Lizzo song, Heaven Help Me, that it has, like, that really cool piano and trap-centric instrumental, but then at the very end of the track, you hear the flute.
Oh, yeah, that was so dope.
Lizzo has been on Twitter and Instagram for the past year playing that goddamn flute. And this is the only time on the album we hear it.
Bitch, you emotional?
Oh, wait, she plays flute. Holy shit. Let me see. Oh, and then Bad Boys. You gotta love these choruses. Brand new biz. That bitch go pew, 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 pew.
Oh, pew, pew, pew.
Yo,
Oh
bitch,
my
you
God.
think I'm so cute, 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 cute? How can you not love that?
I thought that was really cool.
It was Bible that kind of felt one of the weaker joints to me.
I agree.
And it's not really important, though. We're just going to be talking about whatever. You know, it's just like, oh, okay, all right, fine.
I hate when they have really good ideas, but then it doesn't go anywhere. Or they don't focus on it enough. I don't want to blame him entirely, but...
You think he's too interesting?
Yeah, he has the ability to make some similes or bring up specific references that you could write, like, a whole verse around. But he just kind of throws it out there like it's whatever. Like... He's the king.
You're right.
He's the king of references you have to think about because they don't really make sense right away. And here's where I got to give him credit. He has a thread on Twitter right now where it's a quote from a song, and then he posts a GIF explaining what the reference is.
Oh, shit.
Like you would probably get it. I never watched the show myself, but he's like, I give you the eggplant like Courage the Cowardly.
Oh yeah.
And then there's the GIF of Courage the Cowardly Dog in an eggplant costume.
That was awesome. That was nice.
And there's another one where he starts a verse killing it like Mysterio. And if you look on Genius, someone, definitely not Joseph Chilliams, says, oh, Mysterio is a Spider-Man villain. And yeah. And then he just kind of leaves it at that. No, Joseph Chilliams lets you know, no, it's about Rey Mysterio.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
Because he killed a guy.
Oh, damn.
I don't know why people would even try to go on Genius, try to explain Joseph Chilliams' references when he's doing it for you. Downvote that shit. Like, they aren't always in your fucking face. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Like, even the fucking name of the album is a throwback to Joseph Chilliams' EP called The Plastics, which... The whole EP is full of references to the movie Mean Girls.
Yeah, I heard one or two of those, because wasn't he wearing some weird pink thing on it with the ears? Yeah.
Uh-huh. But in the context of the fucking album cover, if you look at that, if you walked into a room, right, and these 4 or 5 dudes told you can't sit with us, be like, damn right I can't. You're way too fucking cool for me. I'm gonna be all the way over here. And I like, too, that I didn't even know about this because I didn't know the history of the group, but there was another member of the group who was murdered either last year or the year before. And on the album cover in the back of the room, they have, like, a painting of him. Man. So it's like, yeah, he's here in spirit. And they even mention that on the song, we haven't got to it yet, Studio Ground Rules.
That was the song that got me into them. Just, again, the chorus. Especially when he starts, like, messing it up at the end. But it's just so funny the way he's doing it. He's like, oh, man, don't talk back.
He's getting angry.
Yeah.
Dude, you smoking weed in the studio with people who don't even like you. I don't even smoke, and I know that's a bad idea.
don't come up, don't tell jokes, don't rap to us. I love how it was just like
don't give me your Instagram, don't give me your Snapchat.
That's got to be like, that verse has to be on a little like warning sign in the studio when you come in.
Don't call next on 2K. You ain't next. Sit the fuck down.
Yeah, the way he repeats things. Don't call next. You ain't next.
You need to sign an agreement before you step into a recording studio. You need to listen to the song first, and you gotta hit a fucking acknowledgement box like, okay. They're so fucking clever, and I hate that I can't say it's like across the board. Because most of what I have written down is Joseph Chilliams.
Like, this isn't like the Wu-Tang Clan album where it's like, oh shit, 12 electric tracks and each one of them has this unique... It's kind of like, it's a fun joint and you'll find people you like. I hate saying that about a posse cut, right? Like a posse album. I like being able to say, listen to all of these guys. It's electrifying. But at the same time, I have to be honest, like guys like Fresh Waters, I wasn't really feeling them that much. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, because it's not as consistent, it's just like, well, you might find something you like, you might not. You know what I mean?
I liked Dinner with John on Bible.
Dinner with John. That was the dude. Yeah, yeah, he was, it was, I didn't like, who was it? What song was it? Bible? Yeah, I didn't like Fresh Waters' verse, and I was like, man, this song's kind of coming off whack now. And then Dinner with John came in, and he fucking saved that shit.
See, that again, bringing it back to Carnival, it's like, Chilliams, awesome. Saba, mellow, alright. Fucking Benjamin Earl Turner, like it's bookends. But in between, the fucking meat of the sandwich isn't as satisfying. Which is why, like, I came out with a total of a 3.5. I was really banking I was gonna rank it higher, but that's what I got.
I gave it a 4.
That about wraps it up for this week's episode of the Going Off Podcast. Thank you very much for checking us out. If this is the first time you've heard us, all of our old episodes are on iTunes, SoundCloud, and now Spotify. Just search Going Off Podcast. That's GOIN'(off) podcast. We're both on Twitter. We're both on YouTube. Check out Darren on Stationhead, and I'm over on Twitch. And I don't really know when we're going to get back to doing Patreon requests, because people are fucking pumping albums out, like Kevin Abstract has an album coming out this Friday. Who knows? There is a queue, so you might be waiting a second, but if you want to help us out financially, which we would definitely appreciate, we're both on Patreon. Just hit up either patreon.com/rapcritic or patreon.com/muse. You can check out the details, find out how you can get cool little perks, including requesting an album to be reviewed on the show. And until next week, for the Going Off Podcast, I'm Baby.
And I'm crying, 'cause I love you better. You get the idea.